I passed laws to give family members health care while they care for injured troops, and to provide family members with a year of job protection so they never have to face a choice between caring for a loved one and keeping a job. But there is so much more that we need to do in this country. It starts with being honest about the sacrifices that our brave men and women are making. For years, this administration has refused to count all of our casualties in uniform. In Iraq alone, tens of thousands of troops who were injured or fell ill have not been counted in our casualty numbers, going against the military's own tradition from past wars. It's time to stop hiding the full costs of this war. It is time to honor the full measure of sacrifice of our troops and to prepare for the cost of their care. That's why I've pledged to build a 21st century VA as president. It means no more red tape. It's time to give every service member electronic copies of medical and service records upon discharge. It means no more shortfall. We will fully fund VA health care and add more vet centers, particularly in rural areas. It means no more delays. It means no more delays. We'll pass on-time budgets. It means no more means testing. It's time to allow every veteran into the VA system. And it means we'll have a simple principle for veterans sleeping on our streets: zero tolerance. No more homeless veterans. As president, I'll build on the work I started in the Senate and expand housing vouchers, and launch a new supportive services housing program to prevent at-risk veterans and their families from sliding into homelessness. I'll also build on the work I did in the Senate to confront one of the signature injuries of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan: post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. We have to understand that for far too many troops and their families, the war doesn't come to an end when they come home. Just the other day, our own government's top psychiatric researchers said that because of inadequate mental health care, the number of suicides among veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan may actually exceed the number of combat deaths. Think about that. Think about how only half of the returning soldiers with PTSD receive the treatment they need. Think about how many we turn away, of how many we let fall through the cracks. We have to do better than this. In the Senate, I've helped lead a bipartisan effort to stop the unfair practice of kicking out troops who suffer from PTSD. When I'm president, we'll enhance mental health screening and treatment at all levels, from enlistment to deployment to re-entry into civilian life. We also need more mental health professionals. We also need more mental health professionals, more training to recognize signs, to reject the stigma of seeking care. And we need to dramatically improve screening and treatment for the other signature injury of the war, traumatic brain injury. That's why I passed measures in the Senate to increase screening for these injuries. That's why I'll establish clearer standards of care when I am President of the United States of America. We've called on our troops and their families for so much during these last years, but we haven't always issued that call responsibly. Yes, we need to restore 12-month Army deployments, but we also need to restore adequate training and time at home between those deployments. We also have to deal with this stop-loss policy that is not part of the bargain that our troops are signing up for. Now, my wife, Michelle, met with Army spouses the other day in North Carolina, who told her about the toll it takes to watch your loved one serve tour after tour of duty with little or no time off in between. And they told her something we all need to remember. We don't just deploy our troops overseas, we deploy families. That's why we also need to provide more counseling and more resources to help families cope with multiple tours. And when our loved ones do come home, it is time for the United States of America to offer this generation of returning heroes the same thanks we offered that earlier greatest generation. my grandfather's generation by giving every veteran the same opportunity that my grandfather had under the GI Bill. There is no reason we shouldn't pass the 21st century GI Bill that is currently being debated in Congress. It was introduced by my friend, Senator Jim Webb of Virginia, a Marine who served as Navy Secretary under President Ronald Reagan. His plan has widespread support from Republicans and Democrats. It would provide every returning veteran with a real chance to afford a college education, because right now the GI Bill that is offered is inadequate to help veterans pay for their college education, and it would do no harm to retention. Now, I have great respect for John McCain's service to this country. I know he loves it dearly and honors those who serve. But John McCain is one of the few senators of either party who oppose this bill because he thinks it's too generous. He thinks it's too generous. Now, I could not disagree with him more. At a time when the skyrocketing cost of tuition is pricing thousands of Americans out of a college education, we should be doing everything we can to give the men and women who have risked their lives for this country the chance to pursue their American dream. The brave Americans who fight today believe deeply in this country. And no matter how many you meet or how many stories of heroism you hear, every encounter reminds us they are truly special, that through their service they are living out the ideals that stir so many of us as Americans: pride, duty, and sacrifice. Some of the most inspiring are those you meet at places like Walter Reed Army Medical Center. They're young men and women who may have lost a limb or even their ability to take care of themselves. But they will never lose the pride they feel for their country. They're not interested in self-pity, but yearn to move forward with their lives. And it's this classically American optimism that makes you realize the quality of person we have serving in the United States Armed Forces. This, after all, is what led them to wear the uniform in the first place: their unwavering belief in the idea of America. The idea that no matter where you come from, or what you look like, or who your parents are, this is the place where anything is possible, where anyone can make it, where we can look out for each other and take care of each other, where we rise and fall as one nation.